Alrighty then, this is Dr. Jimmy again. It is still the morning of June 12th, Sunday, June 12th, 2016, and this is my 13th video in my series on the history of Halloween Horror Nights 22. Once you're inside, there's no way out. And so to resume, immediately going directly into the last show of the event. I discussed the Lagoon Show and 20 Penny Circus in the previous video. This will cover then the third and final show of that year. Bill and Ted's Excellent Halloween Adventure, of course. This was the 21st version of that show, and once again in the Fear Factor Auditorium. And that year you went back to school. Alice Cooper kept saying school's out that year, and yet nevertheless we ended up going back to San Dimas High, where the event started off. But it started off actually with something really fun. And when I say fun, I mean that literally. The band Fun. Now they had a song called Tonight, and they used to have like a character come out, or someone would make a statement about how you're not supposed to take video or take photographs, that there'd be explosions and bad language. You know, you should be aware of that before you sit down to watch the show. If you'd be offended by naughty words and sexy dancers, then maybe you should go somewhere else, like Not So Scary, or maybe to the Holy Land Adventure, or somewhere else instead of where you are now. And you know, the usual disclaimers and prohibitions. You can't be photographing the show or videotaping the show or recording the show in any way, and all of that. But this time they did it in the form of a song with a parody lyrics to Tonight by Fun, which was really quite amusing. And I remember, of course, the lyrics, you know, tonight we'll get dumb. It's pop culture from the past year. It's what we do here. We'll get dumb. And then after explaining all the stuff that we're not supposed to do, videotaping all of that, and there'll be explosions and naughty words. I love this bit. So follow the rules. It's time for Bill and Ted's We Will Rock You Tonight. And then, you know, We Will Rock You starts right in. And I just scared my cat. Buddy, you're a boy, you're a big man playing in the whatever it is. We're gonna be a big something someday. I forget the lyrics. God damn, how can I forget those lyrics? They're like, it should be lyrics come right off the top of my head. Anyway, you know, big disgrace, waving your banner all over the place. We Will Rock You, which is always the intro to Bill and Ted's, of course. So, it's San Dimas High School brought up on the stage, and it starts out with Mayans. What are Mayans doing at San Dimas High School? It's a special assembly, I guess. Various classes are doing their special projects, and one class has decided to do a special project on the Mayan apocalypse, which everybody knew was going to happen on December, was it December 21st, December 22nd? I forget what day it was supposed to be. But the world was supposed to all come to an end in 2012, you see, because the Mayans had this calendar, and it ended on that date, allegedly. The fact is it didn't really. The Mayans actually postulated dates hundreds and hundreds of years after 2012 in some of the other calendars, but they didn't. They ignored that. The people who thought that, and if they didn't think about the fact that maybe the reason that carving ended on that date was because that's when he ran out of rock and he had nowhere else to carve, so he stopped on that date with the Mayan who was carving the calendar because he ran out of stone, you know, and had to get another stone to carve something else on. That was too logical, I guess, for people who decided that the world was going to end. And of course it didn't end. It didn't end at all. We're all still here. It's like frickin' 4 years later and we're all still here. Unless the world did end and we're all in hell right now. Oh dear, didn't think of that one. That sounds like the plot of a scary movie. Anyway, you may use it. I'm not copywriting it. Go ahead. If you want to make that movie. But Mayans came out. Actually, Dimas San Dimas High School students, of course, and wearing Mayan costumes, and the high priest evokes the ceremony, and they all start dancing. And just like any good Mayan ceremony, they dance to the music. Oh, wait a minute, I forgot to mention, during that fun song, the intro, there was a brief interruption during the middle of the song when the explosions went off. They said, there'll be an explosion, and boom, there's an explosion, just to make the point. And then the internet meme of that woman who's comes out, I forget her name, but she was an African-American woman, and she comes out saying, I got bronchitis, ain't got no time for that, That was a little gag thrown into that. So, getting back to the Mayans, all right, so the Mayan dance number, and just like any, they played traditional Mayan music, which was the song Wild One. I guess that was a hit in the Mayan top 20 back 1,000 years ago, even though it was not recorded until much more recently. I'm a wild one. No, anyway. Oh yeah, you're a wild one. Anyway, that was the song. And then after that, the number was over, and the Mayan priest, of course, was talking about all sorts of fun things like Twilight, and that was a sign of the apocalypse, but at least it would be the last Twilight film, thank God. And saying that, of course, everyone loves Twilight. Said nobody ever. And what was the other thing? Oh yes, he also gave a little bit of a plug for the at that time very new taco from Taco Bell. What was it called? The one with the Dorito shell on the outside. Locos Tacos, which are amazeballs, yes. And with Loco Tacos in our belly, yes, very good. So all of that was done quite nicely. So, showing up after the ceremony is over is the principal of San Dimas High School, Principal Dingleberry. He's sort of the villain of the piece, I guess, if there is one. And Principal Dingleberry gives them all detention, especially Erin Klein, who is going to be our chance again this year. She portrayed one of the Mayan dancers, and she also appeared throughout the entire presentation in various roles, saying, okay, you're all on detention. And when he looked at Erin, he said, both of you, because making reference to her tracts of land, to use a Monty Python phrase. Yes. Making a boob joke, oh well, which is a bit rude, but it's a rude show, right? Yeah. So, after that, Bill and Ted had their own presentation for this assembly, which was Bill and Ted's triumphant, most excellent presentation on let's see, I can't read my own damn writing. On America as the most excellent, triumphant, kick-ass country ever. So they did this, and they explained all the reasons why America is an excellent, kick-ass, triumphant country, like Scott and Abraham Lincoln, because Abraham Lincoln, of course, and while they're talking, Abraham Lincoln appears behind them up on top of a platform, but it's not really Abraham Lincoln, it's actually Jeremy, and he's wearing Lincoln's hat and beard and a pair of shorts and nothing else, with an axe, looking all manly and hunky as a sort of Abraham Lincoln go-go dancer. And basically, because Abraham Lincoln would fight against vampires, because there was a movie then, zombies, because there was that movie then, and also teabaggers, yes. So he was making a political joke as well. And also, this was all done in the year of election, because 2012 was an election year, except they had a whole big joke where Ted said erection, and he said, dude, you said erection. He said, no, maybe I said it in Japanese. Hero erection. Silly. And lots of erection jokes there, of course, very fun. So, let's see, again, trying to read my damn notes, because I can't remember the show exactly without notes. Then Bill and Ted came out after the production was over and mentioned that they had this new wonderful domestic partnership deal, and they were going to be together forever. And then, of course, they were told by Dingleberry, that's for gay people. They said, oh, do you mean like Avatar World gay, or or you know, Disney buying Star Wars gay. You know, no, I mean like 50 Shades of gay. And so they decided they're going to leave things the way they are. So Bill and Ted did not get married. All right. So then Dingleberry sets them up because he has a nefarious plan. And so he's going to have the school election. And in the school election, he wants Ted to run for class president. Oh, but Bill should run for class president. And so he gets both of them to run for class president against each other, knowing that's going to cause all sorts of conflict between our two heroes. And it's all part of his nefarious plan to end up with no class president, and he's going to control the school entirely and do terrible things like make you listen to boy band music and serve the worst food in the cafeteria, and no one can do a thing about it because there'll be no class president to stand up against him. At least that was the plan. So they both decide they're going to run for class president, and it starts the conflict between them. But someone else was going to run. Anyone else volunteering, and then suddenly out coming on the stage is a girl with a bow and arrow going, "I volunteer! I volunteer!" And it's Katniss Evergreen, except here she was called Cat Piss. It's Cat Piss. And Dingleberry's, she's the reason we have this stupid lame archery class. And of course she wants to volunteer for her district. How was I think it was it this? Something like this. For my district, you know, for my district. And then of course at the end she's all excited. Let's go kill some children. Yes. Demented. All right. So let's see. After that, there were all sorts of fun things going on while Bill and Ted are trying to get votes. They're trying to get the other students of San Dimas to vote, and there's all sorts of running gags and other things of pop culture from the previous year. For example, there was a continuing Mad Men Dan Draper running gag. Every so often Dan Draper would show up and the music would play from Mad Men, and one scene he's like going to be a gym teacher at the school, and he slaps a girl on the bum and says, "You're fired." And so he becomes a school bus driver, and he shows up and says, "You know, it's hard for me to drive the school bus while I'm drinking my scotch. You're fired." And then eventually he ends up working for Planned Parenthood because he has to get these babies, because he has sex with an awful lot of women. He has to get these babies out of here. And he almost gets that job, except he's sleeping with the man's wife that he wants to hire him, and so he's fired again. So much for Dan Draper. Let's see. There was Chris Brown and Rihanna showed up, and of course one of the men in black, Kay, I think it was. Kay's the white one, right? And Jay's the black one. He shows up with his device and causes Rihanna to forget all of the bad shit that happened between her and Chris Brown. You know, that sort of shit that happened between her and Chris Brown. And so she forgets all about it, and now she's in love with him again. And Bill and Ted says, "No, no, no, don't do it, because he's going to beat you again." Awful. Snooki from the Jersey Shore shows up, and of course she was pregnant at that time, so she's big, obese, pregnant, and she has a baby. Her water breaks, and Ted's trying to get her vote, but she runs out of the room, but then throws the baby back over, and it lands, and Ted catches it. He goes, "Oh my God, the baby has abs." And then it goes, "Daddy!" And he goes, "Ah!" And he runs madly because he's terrified. He doesn't want to be the father of that thing. All right, there's a little bit about the awful television commercial for Siri. Remember Siri? And it was Zoe Deschanel being a hipster, and Siri hates her fucking guts because she's so awful. "Oh, let's order tomato soup. I've never heard anything so lazy in my life. I hate you." Eventually, Siri launches a missile on a special app to blow Zoe Deschanel up. Very nice. Okay, after that, Stacey Jackson, Rock of Ages, shows up to do a special contest between Snow Whites. Who's the best Snow White, the best princess? We've got Snow White from Once Upon a Time. We've got Snow White from the movie, the good one, which means not Mira Mira, but the Huntress, the Huntsman movie. And that was also Erin Klein, by the way, who was playing, of course, what's her name, the Twilight girl, I forget her name. But, and so she was saying, you know, I can perform with only one facial feature. Want to see it? There it is. And then there was Snow White from the cartoon. That's the Disney version. I live with 7 little men. Yes. And my safe word is Epcot. Yeah, so we have those. And who was going to be the best princess? Any 3 of them? No. Honey Boo Boo Child comes running out on the stage. An adult actress playing her, but still, Honey Boo Boo, my special juice is going to help me win. And she jugs this great big liter bottle of Mountain Dew or something, and runs about the stage. Darling, will make me holler, and showing her belly to the judges, and she wins. What do you know? A terrible outrage. The princesses get pissed. They leave the room. Stacey Jacks goes backstage to have sex with them, and Honey Boo Boo wants Bill and chases him around the stage. Of course, that's kind of perverse because she's underage, isn't she? But she tries to rape Bill. Bill gets out barely with his life. Okay, so. And by the way, Honey Boo Boo was played by an actress named Sharon, who is continued plus-size actress, but beautiful plus-size actress who has played many wonderful parts since then. Is often the highlight of Bill and Ted's show ever since. I got to hand it to her. Another brilliant HHN diva, I suppose. Then we had, let's see. Oh yes, it was 2012 was an election year. Erection? Did he say erection? And Obama shows up with Ted to give him some tips on how to run a good election, and talks about how Obamacare and how the idea is you get young people from various communities and put them together and have them fight a battle to the death. Isn't that the hunger? That's Obamacare. All right. And then Romney shows up, and here there was some controversy. Originally, Romney shows up with 2 wives, you know, wearing the typical very long sleeve, long dress like fundamentalist Mormons, and I guess that was considered to be a bit. Apparently, someone watching the show contacted Fox News. A Fox News blog was saying that Universal is this terrible liberal propaganda, and they did that before with John McCain and Sarah Palin. They're doing it again. They're trying to get this Obama get elected again because they're liberal communists or whatever it is, and they didn't want it to appear that they were biased, so they changed the Romney bit, and so now he comes up with 2 pretty showgirls who are not married to him, I guess, wearing red, white, and blue like outfits, and it was celebrity rap battle between Obama and Romney, and they did a rap. Originally, Obama did a really awesome rap, you know, that was quite awesome, of course, and Romney was staggering with some notes trying to get his rap, and he was, you know, a white guy trying to rap, middle-aged white billionaire trying to rap, not doing a good job. They changed it up, of course, after the controversy, and he rapped a little bit better, and wasn't quite so one-sided after that. But again, it was an example of Universal caving to pressure to try to not offend people, and I hate when that shit happens. Ironically, in Hollywood, in spite of what would happen the following year, that year they got away with doing a Book of Mormon parody with Romney, which was quite hysterically funny. I wish they did that bit in Orlando, but they didn't. Oh well. The Book of Mormon, you know, the Broadway show. Quite funny. Alright, so, after that, of course, who won the rap battle? The voters will decide in November. Right. We know it was Obama. Yes, that's who won. Okay, so then the boys tried to get the votes from the cool kids because they have a lot of influence. And who are the cool kids? Well, first there was the captain of the football team who had a shirt with a big white star on it, blonde. Then there was a cheerleader in a black and red costume known as B-Dub. There was a sort of rock dude with long blonde hair, and I guess he's in a shop class because he was carrying a hammer. And there was a sort of somewhat nerdier guy, but still cool, named Bruce. And yeah, it was the Avengers, but turned into high school teenagers, because you have to be careful when you parody Disney. They get all kind of litigious. So they're doing this parody of the Avengers as the cool kids in the school, right? It's quite funny. And they get angry, and of course Thor has a wonderful bit where he's like, "My hammer," you know, he's just a guy with a tool, who's, you know, with a hammer. He says, "My tool can summon the lightning," and then Cap says, Yeah, and he's stoned. Double awesome. And then there's Bruce, of course. They want to have him, Clint shows up, the Hawkeye, and they make fun of him, and they're going to throw him in a locker, because he's another person in the nerdy archery class with Cactus, right? And then what happens is they want to have them smash Bill and Ted, so they tell Bruce, smash! And Bruce goes, smash? Bruce was played, of course, by Michael Navarro, and Cap says, yeah, no, B-Dub says, yeah, think of something to make you really angry. Come on, no, it's Cap. Think of something angry, like Bane's voice in the Batman movie. Bane's voice. Oh my God, that was so shitty. It sounded like. Oh, I forget the gag. Darth Vader and someone else had a baby. It was awful voice. No, Darth Vader and Sean Connery, was it, had a baby? I think so, something like that. And that was what the voice sounded like. It was a terrible voice. And so he got mad, everything turned green, he was going to rip off his clothes, and Peter was, yeah, tear your clothes off. And Cap goes, really? You are so desperate, you sound like Taylor Swift here. Anyway, so, but then the cool kids decide to go back to Tony's Ferrari in the parking lot and get drunk. So that was the end of that scene. Not Tony being Iron Man, of course. Didn't make an appearance that year. So, I'm now out of time again. I'll have to continue Bill and Ted in part 14.